Chat room.
Yay, it's actually streaming. All right. Mute site. All right, there we go. Cool. Yep, we're good there. All right, tweeting out. Retweeting. All right.
Oh, you.
Yes.
I don't know if Tech got a chance to ask you. Are you okay if we podcast on Saturday next week? Or next time?
Next time, it should be okay. You'll have to check with the missus whether her Jane Austen thing is well, even if her Jane Austen thing happens, that's fine because she usually gets back in time for the podcast as long as it's the same time.
Yeah, it would be the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that should be fine.
That Sunday is our dating anniversary. We usually celebrate more than that. Then we do like our wedding anniversary because that's like in the middle of so many things.
Mm-hmm.
So we always try to go out for our dating anniversary.
Makes sense.
All right. Chat room, let us know if you can see and hear us or if you're even there. We're used to talking to ourselves, so it won't be a problem.
We are parents.
I know. Dad was in the other room, and I was mumbling to myself. He says, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "I'm talking to myself." He said, "What, you need an intelligent conversation?" I said, "Yeah, you were busy." All right. Moke Ronger, thank you very much. Everything looks good.
Woohoo, everything is awesome.
What's that?
All right. So, am I ready to do the countdown here?
Yes.
All right.
Hang on. Wait from you. That was I'm doing something, Sai.
Yeah, I didn't have the show notes showing it.
Yay, Kenny says wave.
Way.
All right, that's good. Yeah,
Whoa, too big, too big,
too
big.
bright, too bright.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, that's a little better.
Hey, and we have Seema. Woohoo.
Yay, all right.
Good enough.
All right. All on you.
All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on this episode of the AIE Podcast.
It's 2020 and we're here for the games.
However, umami is a thing of the past.
Hey, guys, have you hugged your Wookiee today?
And Saturday mandatory S&M.
SNM.
Got it. Saturday map night for all your Final Fantasy fun.
Yes.
And we are our own guests.
All that and more coming up now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 335 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Octa S gaming community. The Die Has Been Podcast. I'm Makala. To my left and downstairs is Tetsemi.
I have spreadsheets.
You usually do, dear. And to our right and a few states over is Mewcow.
Greetings, gill-soaked guildies.
And this week, well, guys, you got us. We're going to talk about what we've been doing in and out of game to catch up what's been going on since our last show and all that jazz. Welcome, guys.
Yay, we're back.
Yay.
Yep. We are back.
It's been a while.
It has, we always take the month of December off, and it worked better to start this week than the last week. Well, we're still recovering from the holidays, so we're good to go.
I feel like we're still recovering from the holidays.
We are still recovering from the holidays. Definitely. Yeah, most definitely. So we're going to chat what we've been doing since we all last talked. But first, let's go ahead and talk about this week's news, because we do actually have some news.
AIE News.
All right. So we have your community mandatory fun nights and your raid schedule, or your raid schedules. Wow. We have your going on schedules. Now remember, mandatory fun nights, where fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Sunday at 8:30 Eastern is STO. Monday at 9:30 Eastern is Guild Wars 2. Tuesday at 8 o'clock max time is SOTOR. Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern is Final Fantasy 14. Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern is ESO, which is followed by 11 p.m. Eastern, which is Final Fantasy 14 Late Night. Saturday, of course, at 8:30 Eastern Time is Lord of the Rings Online, because my mouth did not work there. 11 o'clock Eastern, of course, is Noob Raid Night, normally led by our good friend Kenny, who is in the chat room. And on Saturday, also at 11 p.m. Eastern in Final Fantasy 14 is Matt. We'll be learning a little more about that shortly. And in streaming and guild podcast news, our folks over at the Escape Podcast have been pretty busy. They had episode 322, their year-end wrap-up and predictions. They discussed, of course, SOTOR's anniversary, Star Wars for Watching, and their 2019 year in review. Also, our good friends, which is, by the way, Seema and Max, and EPC, whichever episode they're on. They're 323. They talked about The Mandalorian, because we're all kind of obsessed with that. They did go over the January event schedule, the guild events for 2020, and, The Mandalorian, because, a good gritty Western in space. And in Working Class Nerds, episode 62, digging into the decade. Wow. Not safe for podcasting. Marcus and Nick sit down with Dr. SOTOR to discuss our favorite games of the decade, and of course, oddly enough, the final episode of Mandalorian.
All right. Bye, Kenny.
Bye, Kenny. See you tomorrow.
In WoW, there's nothing going on. No, I'm kidding. Just some update on the guild infrastructure itself. Umami applications are no longer required for WoW retail. We're going to open up guild recruitment to the server with the in-game recruitment system. New and current members of AIE can continue to use Discord, AIE LFO in-game community, as well as the new Blizzard guild recruitment system to request guild invites. We do want to thank Stig for everything he's done with our current Umami system and Greenwall, and we can't wait to see what else he has in store for AIE. Speaking of AIE, well, that's what we're all talking about.
Podcast.
Hey, we're a little rusty, all right? I was trying to do a transition and it failed.
Okay.
13th anniversary next month. And
lucky number 13.
We will also be having the 3rd annual Ralph's Amazing Race, with details coming soon. New braid in WoW tried Mythic, thanks Memnoth, on accident, and yeah, it went about as well as you thought it should.
I can see why Kenny wandered off there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I don't want to discuss this. See you guys.
Exactly. And there's just a little thing coming this Tuesday called Patch 8.3. Patch 8.3 Survival Guide is up on Wowhead, and we're going to give you the highlights because there's way too much to dig into detail. This is the 3rd major Battle for Azeroth content patch, Visions of N'Zoth, and it will be releasing on January 14th in the US, the 15th in the EU. New content patch will include N'Zoth assaults in 2 zones, Uldum and the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. Zoth has taken over these and corrupted these areas. Taking part in these assaults will earn you reputation with the Uldum Accord and the Rajani, and earn you a new currency, coalescing visions. Good Lord. Words are hard.
They are.
Wrathion returns this patch, starting off with a long introduction quest line. Give yourself about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending if you're going to read everything or if you're just going to go. It will act as the tutorial for the major systems of this patch. That includes his own legendary cloak. I'm not even going to pronounce that. Ashra Kamas, Shroud of Resolve, and a plan to enter and take down the horrific visions of N'Zoth. Titan Forging is being removed, thank God, from patch 8.3 and replaced by Corrupted Gear, which will provide you with powerful effects, but at a cost. Participating in Horrific Visions will allow you to upgrade Rathion's legendary cloak, helping you to combat some of the negative effects of the Corrupted Gear. In addition, new essences are being added for all roles, as well as new recipes for professions. And what a lot of us have been looking forward to, 2 new allied races are being added to the games. Volpira for the Horde, and Mechanomes for the Alliance. Alliance race Death Knights are also available this patch for players who have pre-purchased Shadowlands. Goblin and Worgen Heritage armors being added this patch as well. If you've been wanting to transmog legendary weapons, patch 8.3 will allow you to do so, except for the Warglaze of Azeroth, because those are still Demon Hunter appearance only, and they have their own quest line to get that appearance.
Yep.
The patch also helps if you've been looking for a unique reward from Island Expeditions, as there are new salvage crates which can be bought with the Seafarer's doubloons. And lastly, the auction house is getting a much-needed rework. More content is coming later in the patch on January 21st when Season 4 of Battle for Azeroth begins. That marks the opening of the new Nyalotha raid, new PvP season, and new Mythic Plus seasonal affects Awakened, as well as Heroic Darkshore. Season 4 will also come with an overall item level increase to most systems, with a cap from most systems being 475, except for the final 2 bosses of Nyalotha dropping 485 gear.
That's a lot of news.
Oh, that's a big patch.
And in case you didn't get enough WoW, how about some more WoW with WoW Classic news?
We heard you like some WoW.
So have some more WoW. Blackwing Lair. The Blackwing Lair Attunement Quest, Black Hand's Command, will become available on all realms tomorrow. Well, no, it'd be 2 days ago, Friday, January 10th.
Yes.
There are also level 50 class quests. All players starting at level 50 can now begin class-specific quest lines offered by class trainers in capital cities. These quests include the choice of 1 to 3 powerful rare items. There's also new reputation rewards. These are from the Argent Dawn, Thorium Brotherhood, Timbermaw Hold, Silverwing Sentinels, and the Warsong Outriders faction vendors now offer reputation reward items that were added in patches 1.6 and 1.7 of original WoW. And then on to Eternal Quintessence.
Right?
Yep.
Quintessence, that's what, yes.
Yes.
Yep. Players who complete Hands of the Enemy and reach a revered reputation with the Hydraxine Waterlords, which I still haven't done in regular WoW, may now obtain Eternal Quintessence from Duke Hydraxis. And they're also going to get Darkmoon Fair, which is coming earlier in February. The first Darkmoon Fair in WoW Classic will get underway early February with Barkers and the fair setup appearing on Friday, February 7th, and the festivities opening on Monday, February 10th. Look for the many Darkmoon cards that make up the Beasts, Elementals, Portals, and Warlord sets to begin dropping from enemies and bosses on Wednesday, February 5th.
Excellent. All right. And SOTOR news. Holidays in SOTOR were filled with megas, MFNs, snowballs, and Wookiee hugging. Several guildies were so industrious they achieved the Wookiee hugging champion achievement. Wookiees do, in fact, give the best hugs. Actually, no. I need a correction to that. Ben Baumhofer gives the best hugs. Wookiees come second, but a close second.
Yeah, it was. You
saying
had to hug 1,000 Wookiees to get that.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of Wookiees.
that's a lot of Wookiees.
Wow, and I'm about the size of a tall Ewok, so I don't know if I could do that. In 2020, SOTOR is looking forward to opening the rest of the rooms in both the guild flagship, many operational successes, MFNs galore, mega extraordinaire, conquest, target meets, meetups, trivia, and of course, lightning. Sorry.
Exactly. In ESO news, on January 16th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there will be a Bethesda live stream to reveal the chapter and year-long story. They will have Twitch drops live during the stream so you can unlock rewards. MFN is still on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, where they run dungeons, rampage through zones, killing bosses, obtaining sky shards, and looting anything not nailed down, and occasionally jumping off cliffs.
Indeed.
Oh, Kenny. Yeah, never mind.
Yep.
Yeah. And in Final Fantasy XIV news, last night, Saturday, January 11th, for those listening, we had the first maps night in quite a while, and it was fairly epic. For those not familiar, maps are essentially treasure hunting maps, not just cartography. It's actual treasure hunting maps. We did the level 80 maps, also known as the Zonerskin maps.
Yep.
I guess that's about how you say them. And reached the final chamber 4 times. That means 100K payday each time.
Yep.
And with the total gil and value of mats dropped, it totaled to about 5 million gil? 15 million gil. Yeah, 15 million gil. Map nights are now going to be a regular Saturday night event going forward. Just ping Kelsier on the Final Fantasy XIV channel and AIE Discord if you want to join. Map groups hold about 8 people per team. The lighter skin maps are more tuned for solo players if you can't or don't want to get a full group of people. Also, raiding will be picking up again soon. Speak with Duris or Abovan in Discord for details. We'll likely begin with some of the early extreme fights, that's Titanium and Innocence, to gauge where everyone is, and also to help gear folks up. And in February, we have patch 5.2, and that will include, of course, more MSQ, a new dungeon, Anomnesis Enider, which apparently is an actual word. Anomnesis, which apparently is reflecting on things. They like finding weird old words, old English words to put on.
Right.
Yeah.
But it'll be a new trust compatible dungeon, which means you can bring your NPC buddies with you as long as they're leveled up high enough. I think the first time is free, and then you have to have them leveled up to do
Usually
it.
is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding a new beast tribe, which is going to focus on gathering this time. That's the Kitari. And also new Chronicles of a New Era, which will be the 5.0 Trials quest chain. And it looks like the first trial will be the Ruby Weapon. Also, a new raid, or probably continuing the existing raid, but new raid wings. It'll be called Eden's Verse. One boss is to be related to Ramu. Yeah, Ramu. He's the lightning dude from 2.0. Also, there's going to be a upgradable equipment quest series, also known as the Relic Quests.
Excellent.
Sweet.
All right. In a non-Lightning game news, in EVE, they settled in the new home system, bringing up their little cubby holes ADM so they can truly start doing the big boy stuff. Hoots has started making stuff for Corpy, and Corpy are helping by donating needed materials for said process.
And
So unless you play EVE, you don't know what any of that means. Which is how they like it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it
On
doesn't need
purpose.
to be redacted if you don't understand it. So
True. That makes sense.
right. We finished off in Lochor. We finished off 2019 with a lot of fun during the Saturday night Lochor. They have stuff planned for 2020. Stay tuned for the upcoming details and follow them in the Lochor channel in AIE Discord for news and announcements.
All right. And that's all the news that's fit to chat about. So, guys, let's find out what we've been doing since break. And according to these notes, I have to talk first. Damn it, Tim, really? All right. So, I'm a mom. It was Christmas time. So, pretty much from December 12th until December 26th, I was running around like a mad woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think my final count was 12 pounds of marshmallows, 10 pounds of fudge, 8 batches of various cookies and bars, 3 pies, 1 cake, and a batch of Rice Krispie treats. That was just the
Baking. Yeah.
The cooking. There were several shindigs and mistakes were made and drinks were drinking and
there was
Puerto
a lot
Rican
of
eggnog
cleanup.
and I'm sorry?
And there was a lot of cleanup.
There was a lot of cleanup. So behind the scenes, we have a lot of parties at our house. And Tat and I have a really great relationship when it comes to how we break down the responsibilities. I do all the pre-stuff. I do all the baking, the shopping, that. Once the party starts, I'm now the host.
Yep.
I flutter around, I talk to everybody, I get handed drinks by friends. Like, God, no one's roofied me. Literally. So I'm moving everywhere. Tet, on the other hand, is pretty much in one place. He is behind the sink, doing dishes, greeting people from there. You can always have to ask where I am at a party. You never have to ask that about Tet.
Well, and the thing is,
very easy to find.
The sink is part of our kitchen, but it's overlooking the island, which then overlooks the area where everyone is in. So it's not like I'm squirreled away. I can see everything. I just have my little protective. This is my
your bubble.
Of the area.
Yep.
What you don't know is it's actually a sniper roost.
Yes.
Dishes as weaponry.
No, I have the thing you use to clean dishes so if people get out.
Oh yeah.
Well. Yeah. He's not kidding. We do actually have that readily available. And about a dozen Nerf guns in the house.
Yes.
So, that was a good part of my holiday. I also hiked a lot, cooked, wrapped presents. I did manage to sleep in for a few days. So there were actually a few mornings where I didn't get up until after the sun got up. Pretty impressive. I read 2 full books over the holidays. Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow, which was quickly followed by The Ninth House by Leah Bardot. Because after you finish a 150-page book about the Weinstein investigation, you need a dark fantasy modern novel about magical secret societies in Yale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
I got down with Catch and Kill. Like, this is amazing. I need something lighter.
So Shot.
This was
Chaser.
not lighter. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Shot. Chaser.
Yeah, this was not lighter, but it was fabulous. Like I said, we had our annual Yule party, and then we also had our very fabulous Furt and Friends Christmas Eve sushi lunch, which is a tradition. What, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Where it was Tet, Seistri, Never, and I, and of course the Hordling, and we went out. Oh, and Leontine, and we went out for sushi on Christmas Eve, and it's become our tradition.
Yep.
We pretty much get as many FERT members or AIE members in the area, and just our close friends who want to come, and we have like a big sushi lunch before all the chaos begins. We go to a revolving sushi place where our goal as a family is to get 12 plates of sushi. And if you've ever heard the Matthew Ebel high orbit holiday special, you know why.
Yes.
We saw Star Wars opening night, and I think I got the text from, well, we were in the show still, but from our buddy Mills that he wanted to do a Star Wars game taking place 100 years after Rise of the Skywalker. Please figure out the new Jedi Order for me. And then a few days later, he presented us with the Force and Destiny book for Christmas.
Yep.
So what I have in mind, I need to write up my history, and I've been told to do a short one, is I have a Twi'lek mystic seer who is not so good with people, but super connected to the living force. And Tet, what you might not know is I do actually have a connection to the Star Wars universe.
Nice.
Yes. Only one of my D&D groups actually played during the holidays. We were semi-active at best, but we did manage to get roped into helping a clan of wood elves deal with a mythical monster that's cursed them. And okay, so you know how it is though when we're on our way there. Like, oh, what's this scary thing over there? Don't go there. Like, of course we're gonna go. And you know how in a video game when you go to the wrong zone, and you're not quite ready for it.
Yep.
And you that was kind of that.
Platter.
So
ass, hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we held it back and didn't really defeat it. We'll have to deal with that later. That was pretty much what I had going on. Mia, what have you been doing?
Well, I'm a dad, and it was Christmas time,
right?
And no.
And you were a jungle gym because I know you're a kid.
Oh yeah, and it actually was a jungle gym just a bit ago. So,
yeah.
But no, so we are still taking down the inside Christmas decorations, the outside. We actually managed to take it down the weekend after New Year's Day, because we did have a really decent setup at the new house. So we had to kind of get used to, like, how we wanted things laid out there. I kind of had a test flight with the Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
So, so I was able to kind of think things through. So yeah, we had a nice setup with, all the usual lights. The neighborhood was nicely decorated. So that was pretty cool. But otherwise, after catching up on The Mandalorian,
so good. So good.
Yes. And seeing the latest Saga movie.
Also so good.
Yep. And bravely watching the entire Star Wars holiday special.
Oh.
Shot. Chase.
Yes.
Oh.
With a little help from Riff Track.
Wow.
So yeah, you can buy the Riff Tracks version of it now, and it yes, and which is just that show is just baffling. We just Jen and I just watched it, and we were just like, really, this happened.
I'm gonna put B. Arthur on 8-track. Anyways,
yeah. So that was an experience.
No.
But we've started watching the Clone Wars.
Okay. Because I know you guys weren't sure if you're going to start with Clone Wars or Rebels for the animated stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Clone Wars is a good start. Kind of dip back in there. We've watched the two we were watching the order for it, and like the true order is all over the place because apparently they never showed it in proper order on.
Really?
There's viewing guides where it's like, this episode.
Then the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have to watch like 216, then 116, which is still like, how did they get it that much out of order that there were two different seasons wrong? And then you watch the movie, and then you kind of start in the beginning of the series. But it still kind of jumbles things around. And it's not until the 4th season that they finally have things in proper order.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first 3 seasons, they're just all over the place.
Wow.
So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a thing to tackle. But yeah, it's 6 to 7 seasons. I think 7 seasons coming out this year.
Nice.
So yeah, that's going to be our thing to do because they're half-hour shows. It's something we can sneak in at night after the little one has gone to bed.
Right.
And then in gaming, tons of time in Final Fantasy 14. Just tons. I don't know what it is, but it could just be the lack of WoW, but something needed to fill that void, and Final Fantasy has been in it. Yeah. I have about 5 active alts in a game that you don't need alts in.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah, because like WoW, you need alts, but
you have them in different data centers, right?
Yeah, I have one in each data center, and 2 of them have a second one for whatever weird reason I did that for. I don't know, but it also means I've gone through the Shadowbringers MSQ 5 times because yes, it's that good.
It is.
It's good enough to immediately repeat.
Yeah.
I'm also been secretly and not so secretly working on dragging others along for the fun and coercing them into playing with us.
That always works.
Yep, because the more the merrier. I have managed to complete the Eden raids, which is the highest normal rating, and the Near raid, which is the highest alliance raid. So it's 24 people running around and having no idea what's going on.
Okay.
But it's fun.
Markers.
Pretty much. But the fun thing about the alliance raids is that they even try to like corral you so that you go where you're supposed to now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those that are familiar, Near Automata is the crossover into Final Fantasy 14, and it is really well done. The music is amazing, of course, and it fits what's going on. I have not touched the Savage version of the Eden raids yet. I'm close to it, though. I probably will do that soon. But I have no desire at all to go anywhere near the Extreme. Alexander Ultimate. Extreme? Yeah. Is it Extreme? I thought it was Ultimate.
Or is it Ultimate?
Whatever it is. Well, I think it's Ultimate because it's... So, if those familiar, there is an Alexander raid set of wings back from Heaven's Ward. And then there's like a main boss at like the end of each wing. Well, Alexander Ultimate is like essentially going back to all those bosses, one after another. And then at the end, they Voltron into one giant robot and try to beat you down. And watching that, like I've only seen one person complete it still since it's been launched. It's like this. These are harder than Mythic rating in WoW.
Right.
Like it's in WoW. There's you have a little bit of give. In this one, you have to be picture perfect. You have to step in time to whatever the dance is.
Yeah.
Like one person's in the wrong spot, everyone falls apart. Like it's just amazing just how perfect it has to be.
Right.
But the weapons you get out of them are pretty epic. Like they are the best looking in the game, of course, because they want to give you something for earning that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In other news, taking a short break to poke at Fallout 76. They have the Wastelanders beta coming out this month. So for those of you waiting for actual humans to be in Fallout 76, they're coming. Hopefully this is a sign that they're actually going to do it right, because this time they're saying, hey, you want to help us test it?
Right.
Unlike all the other patches where things just like, here you go. Oh, it's crap. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's be interesting. Working on my Pioneer Scout challenges because they're pretty challenging. But other than that, very little time in WoW. The raid scene has been pretty much on hiatus until patch coming out.
Right.
Well, not just the patch, but the raid coming out after the patch.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they have a solution for the absence of tier sets and a fix for mitigation for the Azerite armor, because those two things has pretty much killed raiding.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they fix that, because I mean, we're all about, it's that we need something to keep us going in WoW, or maybe it's okay that we take a break for a couple months every now and then.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we killed the final boss. Okay, see you next patch. Yeah.
Right.
No drive.
Siege of Orgrimmar, we were constantly rerunning it for the heirlooms. But
Yep. And it looks like, because as we mentioned above, the bosses, the end boss for the Nyalotha raid is 10 eye levels higher than everyone else. So at least it's something. Like as it is right now in Eternal Palace, there's no reason to go after Ashara. She drops nothing you want.
Yeah,
so,
not unless you were trying to collect the rare set pieces in there, but it's that whole, why are you raiding? To get gear. To do what? To raid better. So what? You can raid harder content to get more gear, so you can raid harder content better. And you get in that, all the games do this. And at some point you just have to say, this is my end point. I've killed the final boss. Everyone in the raid team's killed the final boss. We're good. I think the solution is going to be not the raid, but the horrific visions. That system, the tower system. Not the tower system. That's shadow. That's
the cloak system.
Yeah,
getting your cloak better.
You have to go in with 1 to 5 people and rerun the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the getting your cloak better so you can survive the raid better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be a test for the tower you were alluding to. The tower is in the next expansion.
Correct. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how that.
Yep. If it goes well, then they know they have a good thing coming with the next expansion. So we're hoping they have the solutions for us coming.
Yep, I agree.
And then how about you, Tets? What you been up to?
Oh, very much like you. There's a lot of story in Final Fantasy XIV, and I managed to get through all of it. Well, main story quest. I did the main story quest, and then here's the side quest you get every 2 levels to get you the gear at the end of it. I've done that on my physical DPS. I still have to do it on the caster, the healer, and the tank, but then I have to get those classes up to do it. But the story so far is awesome, and I hit the end of Eden and I went, there's more elements. We need more raids. Where's the rest of the story? I finished it and immediately typed into the free company, when's more content coming? They're like, next month. I'm like, okay, I can wait.
Yep.
But,
right.
Well, and you haven't even touched the hard content. Like, you've done the standard content. So
define hard content, because it's all hard for me. No.
No, so you've done Eden. You've done the 4 boss fights in Eden.
Yes, on story mode essentially.
Yes, essentially, yeah. So once you finish that last one, there's now someone waiting for you in the area. I'm saying, hey, you know those fights you just did? Why don't you do them harder?
Yeah. That's
so that's
savage.
You're
like, wait a minute, you look very familiar. Tell me why I shouldn't punch you in the face right
now.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, because he looks so much like the Wandering Minstrel, but he's the minstreling wanderer in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's he's not the one, but he is the one that unlocks it for the trials.
Right.
But yeah, for the raid, there's like some panicked Crystarium guards like, hey, they're trying to figure something out. Why don't you go talk to them? And then yeah, because it's supposedly supposed to help what they're doing in Eden.
Gotcha.
And leave it at that.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. I went back and figured out how the Grand Company Order of the Twin Adder works, that whole system. So I got through all the, hey, I need a promotion. Hey, I need a promotion. Hey, I need a promotion. And now I'm actually sending out my first 4 recruits. But
Squadron,
yeah, I had to pick up the first recruit by actually running, I think it was the Duty Finder, like 3 consecutive times, and then something else, and it finished off this achievement that unlocked a recruit, and then I could get the 4. And so now I'm looking at what other challenges do I need to go do to get more recruits in, because you can have 8, so you get 4 active and 4 in the wings. And so I'm working on that.
That's a whole system in itself, which I've just been touching. Yeah.
Just like I'm playing it on the side, like, oh, this will take 18 hours. I'll forget. So see you in 3 days. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting semicolon is your friend because it will bring up your timers. So,
cool.
I also have been leveling up my Red Mage, which apparently is getting a huge change, not a huge change, but changing a bit in 5.2. And then working on my Samurai. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the healer or tank, although either Gunbreaker or Dark Knight look interesting for tanking. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Dark Knight seems to be the popular choice this expansion.
Yeah. It's like...
And of course, Gunbreaker's...
Yeah, no, it's like you get in, you see a Dark Knight or a Gunbreaker, you're like, okay, they're just going to pull all the trash. Like, I just look at the healer. Good luck. Here we go.
Well, and it's funny. I actually, I was in one of the newer dungeons, and I was trying to be nice to the healer. The healer then rescues me to pull me further along.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they were wanting me to pull wall
Keep
to
going,
wall.
pull faster. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a paladin, and paladins are a little different in the way they play. They're not like the Death Knight and the Gunbreaker, where they just like grab it all and run.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes the healers want it a little rougher.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And then I've also, now that the Free Company helped me figure out how to be able to solo older duties and stuff like that, I'm going back and cleaning out my log file and cleaning up a bunch of level 50 and 60 stuff. Although level 60 hard is still questionable for me on the Bard. I'm not quite good enough with the DPS to stay up long enough to kill the boss fast enough before I die from the mechanics. So I'm working on some of those, going back and cleaning up that stuff. So I'm having fun. But like I said, there's so much to do.
Yeah, you've gone like straight through the middle, and you've have all this wide stuff on the sides you haven't even touched.
Oh, and I've got the reclamation. We're rebuilding the
Ishgardian restoration.
No, the Doma.
Oh no, Doma.
Doma,
yeah, that
Doma. Was. I go and drop the 20,000 gil every week on that, and I've got it's up to where they're building the houses, and they have the wood shop and the smith part of it going right now. So I gotta wait until next week to drop some more money off there to see where it goes. So that's fun.
That's always baffled me, because you're giving them stuff that they then pay you back immediately, and somehow that's helping them.
Yeah.
Right. It's game economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
The Ishgard restoration still has me confused, because you go there and they're like, yeah, we're done with phase 1. We're waiting on the next phase. And
it's because it was how the Guild Wars has those active world, or whatever they call it, the living world. That's what it essentially was. It was a crafter version of a living world. So everyone piled in at once, and we're actively pushing the story along.
Right.
It's because you know how you're doing the Doma thing, where you're just giving them money. Well, the Ishgardian is taking that a step forward, and you are the ones building the stuff.
Right.
So someone has already funded them. Well, because it's they rushed through it. I have a feeling that for the next stage, they're probably going to slow that down somehow, because they burnt through it. Yeah, because they players were eager for this content, and and of course it was the first time coming through, and they just overwhelmed the system. They actually had fates, but they're crafting fates.
Oh, nice.
So the servers were overwhelmed as people were trying to dive into these fates and participate, and it was just a huge mess. But they burned through it. It was done so quickly that now all that's left is, well, I can level my characters faster.
Right.
Got it.
And I did find out one thing, speaking of the professions, because I'm starting to work on those. I've got them all at 20 right now, and I'm working them up. But the gathering professions, apparently they changed the stealth to sneak ability, but I still had stealth on my bar, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't active. So it was like having to go, okay, switch into Bard, clear out the entire area of mobs, switch back to the gathering, and try and do stuff. I'm like,
not supposed to be that hard.
No. So now that I know that, now I can start stacking up on stuff and then making it. So
yeah, and they've improved it too. Once you get high enough level, the sneak will automatically apply itself.
Oh, good.
So you didn't even have to think about it.
Good. All right. So that's been Final Fantasy XIV. For anyone that wants to know, it's free up to level 35. Just download the game, hop in, play, have a blast. Get on the free company, join the channel in AIE Discord. It's a blast.
And highly recommended before you sub. Talk to an existing player and be friended. Do the friend recruitment thing. It'll benefit you both.
Yep, you both get stuff.
And obviously, it's a game that's always heavily being worked on, and we have a lot of activity. Per the fact, if you've ever heard Abo on the show,
yes,
there's always so much news that it could be its own podcast.
Yeah, or should be its own podcast.
Or should be its own podcast, Abo.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been the majority of my focus, because other than logging in for guild numbers and guild cleanup, I pretty much took most of December and the beginning of January off of WoW. But I am looking forward to patch 8.3 and see if any of the systems are going to be interesting. I did do the anniversary LFR with the raid team, and we got the World Breaker mount for everyone, so that was awesome. But again, the pull of the story in Final Fantasy XIV was just way too strong for me to run systems over and over in WoW, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I didn't even do Core X Revenge or level any alts in Core X Revenge, just because I was like, it's doing a mechanical system that I really wasn't engaged in because it wasn't unlocking story. Legion, at least, it was like, oh, you're at a content lull for the main story, but look, you've got 11 other classes that you can work through their class story. We don't have that in BFA. So once you get through the story, doing it on another character, unless it's the opposite faction, doesn't get you anything story-wise. And that's what I'm in the game for. So, nice. Thankfully, Final Fantasy XIV was there, because even in SOTOR, I've got 9 level 75s now.
Check
SOTOR. Yeah, I've got 9 level. But again, the story content of the patch was, here, get you to level 75. Now work on the mechanical part of the system, which is getting your gear from the 268 up to the 306 maximum. But there's no new story yet. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave them. We'll leave them there. I'll come back when it has more story. We did not get any D&D on break, as McCullough said. However, the group has gotten sucked into the new Forced in Destiny system for Star Wars, and I did create a Sentinel Shadow who is hunting down dark side Force sensitive and Force users. I did use SOTOR to design my, because she's Torgruda, character, so I could take screenshots and then send that off to our DM for that. I am really looking forward to learning. It's a new system, new dice. It's a whole new play on how the system, you basically roll the dice and then do the interpretation of this cancels this out, this cancels this out, this gives you an advantage over here. So different things will let you take out the good dice, or take out the bad dice, add more good dice. Exactly. And it will be the first game that our whole family will be playing in that's not a one-shot guest appearance or run this character because the player's out. So our
Yep. Yeah.
the
Hordling is
will
playing
be
as well.
here as a permanent character, so it'll be fun.
Yes.
Cool.
Now, unfortunately, though, our particular friend that's DMing, he tends to do not campaigns, but adventures.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So it'll probably be like, go for a few weeks so the story lines up. And then a few months later, we'll do the same thing.
Yep. And also, we watched all 8 episodes of The Mandalorian and cannot wait for more.
Mhm.
If the Kenobi series is going to be anything like this Mandalorian series, especially the 2 episodes that Deborah Chow directed, I cannot wait for this.
I know.
I don't get me wrong, I love the Big 9, but I am so ready for some non-Skywalker series that explore more of what Solo and Rogue One did, where it wasn't, it was about the I realize we just getting excited
the
about
non-Force
Force
stuff.
users, but I want to see the non-Force side of the story. Although the ending of Mandalorian, you're like, ooh, where are we going with this? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool seeing just like different parts of the galaxy and different stories, and I love how they're kind of filling that all in.
Yeah,
well,
especially like that. Go ahead.
I was say it was fascinating that the line of do that magic hand wavy thing.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Like that thing that alone tells
do the
you
magic
like
hand wave thing. Yes.
yeah, like that's how far away these stories are from the core saga, and it's so fascinating to see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
No, exactly. Like one of my favorite episodes, and I think it was the Deborah Chow one. It was the 3rd episode where he's going to the village, and they're in just this primitive village where they're low-tech planet trying to get along.
No, that was Bryce. I think I was Bryce.
Dallas
Dallas
Howard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that one where they went to this low-tech planet, and all of a sudden this ATST comes out of the thing, and you realize that the chicken walker that everybody makes fun of, like, that's not terrifying. Well, it's not terrifying to an army. It's terrifying to villagers fighting with sticks and limited blasters. They did that so well, and yes, it was a homage to Seven Samurai, but it was really well done because it was in the Star Wars universe, and you're like, that chicken walker is terrifying.
It's also kind of nice seeing smaller parts of the universe, quieter parts of the not quite. I mean, they were dealing with a lot of stuff, but the backward stuff, the stuff that's not the big and the boom and the ships and all of that.
Exactly. It's just this felt like to me an 8-episode series of something that we would play through in Knights of the Old Republic.
I can definitely see that.
Because especially like in episode 6 when he's in the ship with his old crew, and if you think about it from a SOTOR perspective, it's like, okay, you've just defeated your old crew member. Do you shoot him or do you lock him in the brig?
Right.
And you can almost see the dialogue choices from SOTOR coming up, light side, dark side choices. And you realize that he has his own code of ethics, and it's just about, I don't like those droids because of what you find out they did to his, his home planet. So
yeah,
right.
Oh yeah, throughout the whole series, like I was constantly like, this feels like a video game. This feels like a video game.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's leveling up. He's getting new gear. He's leveling up.
Right, exactly. But it's not, for those of us that live in those games or play in those games, it's obvious, but it's never so like in your face that you're like, it really felt like a mini like class story arc for a bounty hunter. He
practically had an exclamation point of his head.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you point to the characters, NPC, companion. Ooh, another player character.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, that series was just
so good.
It was.
So as anyone heard from the top of the show talking about what our SOTOR friends have been talking about in their podcasts, yeah, we had to get in on it.
Right.
So thank you for listening to
Yeah, how
a lot
could we
about
not?
The Mandalorian because
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
so
and just
decent.
it's interesting that how many fan service moments there were that didn't come off as fan service moments.
Yeah.
Like the two scout troopers,
Oh my God.
trying to shoot the can that's like 5 feet away from them. They're like
So
shaking
amazing.
the blaster. Like, is it, is something wrong with this?
Oh my God, that was one of the funniest 5 minutes that then turned into ragey 5. Immediately followed by rage.
Yeah.
I will say, I did get Tet and Hordling, Mando, and the child matching T-shirts for Christmas.
Yes. So we have to figure out time to go out and wear those, but those are awesome.
Con?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a non-costume day at Con, it'd be great.
Jen got me a magnetic bumper thing that says the child inside.
Oh,
nice.
fabulous. Oh, like Intel inside?
Yes. Yeah. No. Like you know how you have baby inside?
Yeah.
Like baby on board.
Okay.
Baby on board. The child on board. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So.
All right, so are we done talking about The Mandalorian, or should we keep going?
We could go for hours.
Go. All right. So unless you want to hear us babble about The Mandalorian a little more, that is our show for tonight. While the chat room begins discussing titles, guys, I want to thank you for being amazing, but thanks for chatting and giving us the news and all of that for this week.
It's good to be just kind of slide back into it, even if I had to dig my camera out of a pile of stuff.
Exactly.
Where's my camera? Oh, let me reach down behind the desk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
all right. If you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at the Mew Cow. McCullough is at Cyberwave, and I am at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website. Just look for the podcast live stream link. And our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/discord. One theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And now it's time to play the great AIE member segment we received this week, which is the overly dramatic news from Hunts the Wind.
All right. 2 things. First of all, if you happen to be online or want to bug Nevermore on Twitter, her birthday is on Saturday the 18th. Okay. So, and just a programming note. Our next show will actually be on Saturday, January 25th, our regular show time, because 28 years ago on Sunday the 26th, Ted asked me out, and I said yes, and we always go out to celebrate that.
We do.
We don't know who we're going to be talking to yet, but as soon as we figure that out, we're going to let you guys know. So until then, AIE, this is McCullough.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Mewcow.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Dun, dun.
Yay! Hey, we did, and we actually did almost the full show time too.
I know.
Yep, it's actually good the way that the show's laid out, because if it was 18th, it would mean Jen and I's anniversary of starting to date.
Perfect. Okay. Oh, wow.
So
very cool.
That's great.
All right. So Seema has suggested a show title.
All the halts and all the
and
games.
Tiber's there as well. All right.
Yeah.
Best guess ever.
Tipper, a.k.a. Tiber. All right. If you want to go by your Twitch name. Where are even show notes? There we go. All right.
I know, kind of rusty at this titling thing.
I know. That's getting everyone back in. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It says Typer is typing, so we'll see if there's one more show title coming out.
Otherwise, we could craft something.
Exactly. New patches, new year.
Yeah.
Or just
2020
2020
kickoff wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. We're just kicking things in gear.
All right.
Yep.
Let's do that because we have dinner.
It's like
to-
we have people type. Max
Max
is
is
traveling.
traveling. Okay.
Ooh. Hopefully that goes well.
Yep. Very cool. All right, chat room. Well, thank you as always for joining us. We will see you. Whoop, we got one more.
Also, chat room game people that are game directors and such. We will be bugging you to sign up for to be on the podcast soon.
Oh yeah, I've got my spreadsheet. So
Yep.
We should
cool.
volunteer the Final Fantasy
Oh, I'm gonna
14.
voluntold them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Considering how much you have both been playing, and yeah,
Yep.
that's
All right.
not about. Hey, Abba, what are you doing Saturday the 25th?
Exactly. Don't threaten him with a good time. All
Right, right.
And it would go right into the map stuff really well.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
I'll talk to him.
All right. I
All
like that idea. You guys bug him on that.
Thank you, chat room. I'm gonna go ahead and cut
Thank
the
you, chat room. You're the
stream.
best.